Aisan Hoss and Mehdi Parnia are the founders of Oyna Natural Foods, which makes kuku, which you'll hear all about tonight, and distributes it to Bay Area farmers and markets and farmers markets and natural grocery stores. Aisan is also the director and choreographer of Aisan Hoss Dance. Aisan and Mehdi left Iran so Aisan could pursue her passion for dance, a profession that is illegal in Iran. Her acceptance into the M.F.A. dance program at Mills College in 2013 launched their life in the United States. You will see her choreography later in the program and hear from her about their immigration to the United States. Tonight, we will hear about Nowruz traditions, see a demonstration of them making kuku, during which time you can ask questions in those chat or Q&A boxes. And then we will see a dance and music performance that was filmed in the museum's beautiful Samsung Hall last March, days before the formal shutdown for COVID. We were just starting to shut down. So we will get to see our beautiful Samsung Hall. And I'm going to turn it over to Aisan and Mehdi now. Welcome.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
My name is Aisan.
And this is Mehdi, and we are founders of Oyna Natural Foods.
First of all, I want to really thank everybody in the Asian Art Museum to give us this opportunity to present our company and Oyna Natural Foods, and to let us to show you our dance through Asian Art Museum. And thank you, Indra. We really feel honored to be in this program. We just came to the US 7 years ago from Iran, and we lived in UK before that, and I did my bachelor degree in dance in London at Trinity Law of Dance. And Mehdi did his civil engineering. He did his master's there. And we never wanted to immigrate. That was never our plan. So we went back home. And as Indra explained, dancing is officially illegal in Iran, but it's very complicated. There's a lot of things that are illegal, but people do it in underground space. But just being a dancer and pursue dance as your career, it's a lot more difficult in Iran to have your own company and just stay on your feet and not be risky all the time. I decided to do my master's in US, and we came here without really wanting to immigrate, just always hoped for a few days it's going to pass and Iran is going to get better and you're going to go back home. So we came here, and first of all, we were really amused by the weather, the people, and as the days go and month go, we were thinking maybe we can stay here. Maybe that can be a place to stay. And yeah, we decided to stay there, and I started Aisan Hoss and Dancers, and I'm gonna give it to Mehdi to explain how we started Oina. And this is Selma.
This is Selma. Yes. It's Aisan's dance story really was the main reason that we immigrated, and what I did was I just really followed her, and I think you can guess that there's a lot of story behind that. And yeah, we love food and culture, and I think Bay Area, as Aisan said, was very inspiring and amazing to find all of these the mixed culture diversity. And I also happened to work with a friend that had a food business. That was my introduction to the food industry here. And then we were really inspired with all the ethnic foods that is not ethnic anymore. It's more people are using in their daily life. and especially Middle Eastern. So we were really inspired to introduce something to the market here that is fresh and healthy and flavorful. And that was how Oyna Natural Food was born out of La Cocina, an incubator in SF. And yeah, we started, our goal was to introduce more of our culture, and we bring fresh Persian flavors prepared to the market. Indra mentioned some farmers market and grocery stores, and yeah, the dream is live and keeps moving. Yeah. And this is about Nowruz, that it's on March 21st, and we eat kuku sabzi the night before, with fish and herb rice, and this is, we eat kuku sabzi different times of year also, but it's specifically for that night that's it. We serve it for the Nowruz as well.
Hi, my name is Aisan.
This is Mehdi,
and we are founders of Oyna Natural Foods.
and this is about Nowruz. Nowruz in Farsi, New Day, is the Iranian New Year, also known as the Persian New Year, which is celebrated worldwide by various ethno-linguistic groups, usually on or around March 21st. Nowruz has Iranian and Zoroastrian origins. However, it has been celebrated by diverse communities for over 3,000 years. Nowruz is the day of the vernal equinox and marks the beginning of spring in the northern hemisphere. It marks the first day of the first month, Farvardin, on the Iranian calendar.
Nowruz is a time for family and friends to gather and celebrate the end of the year and the beginning of the next. Children have a 14-day vacation from school, and most adults are on vacation during the Nowruz. Throughout the holiday period, friends and family gather at each other's houses for meals and conversations. Usually a lot of sweets and fruits and ajil, which is Persian style dried nuts. Preparing for Nowruz starts for weeks prior to the new year with a traditional spring cleaning of the home. It's very common to see a lot of rugs hanging from the walls in the streets of Tehran or other cities, because people are cleaning, deep cleaning, from rugs to curtains to floors to prepare for Nowruz.
Haft-sin is in fact the tradition of putting 7 symbolic objects together whose names accompanies with S. The symbolic items accompany these 7 objects and together. Each item in haft-sin symbolizes a concept in Persian culture. Sabze is a symbol of rebirth and renewal of nature. Sirke or vinegar symbolizes patience and age. Seeb or apple is a symbol of health and beauty. Seer or garlic is for good health, and sumac symbolizes the sunrise and the spice of life. The mirror symbolizes the sky and self-reflection. The goldfish and ball of water represent movement and life. Goldfish is also the sign of the last month in Persian calendar, Esfand. And in turning around the ball is a sign of turning and changing of the year. The candles bring light to haft-sin and to life. People also put some coin in their haft-sin for wealth and prosperity.
We personally, in our houses, every house has their own tradition. But as I said, new clothes, it's something that people think that they have to wear everything new, from socks, pants, anything that you're wearing, it has to be like brand new. And I remember when I was a kid, that was the best part of Nowruz, because we would go shopping and we would wait until the Nowruz, which every time was in a different time of the year, to wear our new clothes. And also in the gatherings, a lot of sweets and homemade cookies. And I remember that my mom would prepare those cookies, like almond cookies and some chickpea cookies, that they were very popular in Iran 2 weeks prior to the Nowruz. And that smell, it just reminds me of beginning of the spring, beginning of the Nowruz. And also as a kid, we had a homework to do, which was called Peke Shadi, a happiness homework, if I want to translate it to English, that it was for every day we had a homework. And on the 13th of the holiday, 13th day of the month of the Farvardin, which is the first month of the spring, that's the end. That's the end of the holidays, and we call it Sizdah Bedar. So I remember that homework was very popular in that day, because a lot of kids like me, we would keep the homework for the last day. And I remember I would never enjoy that holiday, the last day, because I had to do a lot of homework. So yeah, Sizdah Bedar, it was supposed to be very fun for children, but because it was the last day and tomorrow we had to go to school, it wasn't so much. Sizdah Bedar is the 13th day of the New Year, as I said, which is also the last day of the New Year holiday. Bedar means getting rid of something, and therefore Sizdah Bedar gives the meaning of getting rid of 13, which is usually treated as an unlucky number. On this so-called unlucky day, Persian people leave their home and spend their entire day outdoors in picnic style with families and friends. Since this is the last day of New Year celebration and holiday, Iranians love to entertain with themselves by dancing, singing, playing around, and enjoying the specialty prepared foods together. One of them is ash.
I remember Nowruz when I was in Iran many years ago. It was a mysterious time, and Nowruz was just enhancing those times. I had buried those days in my heart and only kept them as precious memories. I went back to Iran a few years ago. I remembered our Nowruz trip to beautiful north of Iran, to Caspian Sea, and little seashells when we were collecting them as kids. Such beautiful nature, so peaceful, so strong, so mysterious. And I did not know I could fall in love with a sea like this again. Every morning, witness sun passionately met with the sea, never late. So hard to leave you. I left my heart to the sea and asked sun to keep it safe. I know there's a jewel in there. Without knowing, long ago, I started a journey to unknown, not knowing Nowruz, meaning new day, has a secret that reveals itself when nature is renewed, a new beginning, a new birth. On March 26, 1994, which was 7th day of Nowruz, I had contact with something much bigger than me, and secret was revealed. My heart surrounded by light, love. A seed was sprouted, and I have never been the same. Nowruz has a secret.
Since 2017, I've been celebrating Nowruz with my family and my sister over Skype. We just all get together, hang out on Skype, and celebrate. When Trump signed the travel ban, I was in Iran. I had just finished my first semester of law school and had gone back to hang out with my family for the winter break. But when I was in Iran, the ban was signed and I couldn't come back. My whole life was here. I was in the middle of my degree. So I was accepting it. I was in a coffee shop just writing down my thoughts and accepting the truth that was my life back then, when I suddenly found out I could possibly come back. Within an hour, I had packed and gone to the airport, and I came to the US. It was the 5th week of my semester at law school, and there was no way I could go back and finish it. So I had to withdraw from law school for a year and just be here until I could go back to it. It was really sad. It was one of the toughest things that I've had to deal with in my life. And since then, celebrating Nowruz over Skype has become the norm in my family. But it is what it is. And I have a beautiful community here, the Iranian community and my other friends, who make sure that I always have something to do over Nowruz. And I'm really, really deeply grateful for that. And I'll just keep celebrating Nowruz with my family over Skype until I can finally go be in Tehran and just enjoy everything from home.
کردم فهمیدم وای چه چیزی رو از دست دادم، چقدر دلم تنگه واسه اینکه با مامانم اینا باشم، سر سفره haft-sin بشینیم و هم دیگه عیدی بدیم. تا اینکه امسال احساس میکنم یه سال دیگه است، احساس میکنم خیلی بیشتر دارم به نوروز فکر میکنم، احساس میکنم خیلی بیشتر پیش مامانم اینا هستم، احساس میکنم که اینکه همه تو خونه نشستیم نمیتونیم از خونه همون بیرون بریم، همه جای دنیا یه جورایی همدیگه رو هممون رو به همدیگه نزدیکتر کرده. احساس میکنم نزدیکترم به ایران، نزدیکتر شدم. یه حس دیگه ای داره نوروز امسال، بهارش سبزتره.
Hi again. I hope you enjoyed it. So now the fun parts begin. I am going to show you how you can make this delicious kuku. So in Oyna Natural Foods, we have 6 different kukus. And one of them is kuku sabzi, which is the most traditional one. And I try to keep it really traditional and not change anything to just have the taste of what you can taste it in Iran. So, so I will let you know what you can actually change when you are making your own. But here I'm gonna explain you what you need and what you can use instead of the things that you might not find it in the grocery stores. So by the way, this dish is a dish that we eat in New Year Eve, which is the night before the the night before the Nowruz. And the night before the Nowruz, we eat fish, rice, and kuku sabzi. Kuku sabzi, which is the kuku herb, is a symbol of rebirth. And everything has a symbol, as I explained in Sofri haft-sin. We eat the kuku sabzi because of that. And it tastes so good with fish. It makes it more herby, but you can also eat it with bread, tomatoes, and pickles. And that's another version. We eat a lot of sandwiches that we put kuku inside a baguette or lavash, and we eat it as a sandwich. So here we have 5 eggs, and you always use organic eggs. 4 eggs, sorry. And we have barberries. So barberries are tiny berries that are sour, and they are savory and sour. And they can be eaten as they are. It's overwhelming, but usually in Persian cuisine, we put it inside the food, and it just gives a very savory taste to the food. But you can also use cranberry. You don't have to use this. But if you want to get barberries, you need to get it from Persian grocery stores. Not all the Middle Eastern stores have them, but Persian grocery stores. And they are very tiny. I can show you towards the, yeah. And they are red, and sometimes they're more black because they're not kept in the fridge. So we have 2 tablespoons of garbanzo flour. You can also substitute this to any flour that you want. And we have leek, that is 1 cup and chopped finely. And it's leek, or you can also use Asian chives if you want. And we have onions. I use half onion, and which is like a half a cup, and 3 cloves of garlic. And I saute them a little bit, so it takes that like a sweetness. You don't have to caramelize, but you can also caramelize if you want to make it more sweet. So it's like a kind of a saute. It's kind of yellowish color. And we have cilantro, half a cup, here finely chopped. I don't use processor, but you can definitely use processor if you want. But when you use processor, the taste kind of comes out. If you want to keep the taste inside the herb, it's better to chop by hand with a very sharp knife. And we have a dill, half a cup. And we have a parsley. I'm going to chop it here just to show you how I chop. And olive oil, the parsley is also 1 cup. And we have walnuts here, 2 cups of chopped walnuts. Again, I don't chop it so fine because I want that crunch. If you have an allergic reaction to walnuts, you can use almonds, but soak it in the water so it gets softer. That never happens like this, but now it's her sleeping time. And that is, we have salt and turmeric, and I don't make it too salty, so I use 1 teaspoon, but you can always use more. And so yeah, and I'm gonna just chop the parsley. So how I chop? So you just take a bunch. You don't have to take like the leaves. You can use the whole thing, and everything in it. It just tastes really good, especially if they're gonna be cooked. So here we are gonna just kind of make it by hand, just like gather everything. You don't have to be very organized about it because they're all gonna be chopped. And we are gonna do just finely chopped once. And then just put the hand on top of your knife and chop through it. That's it. And I do it, you don't have to do very tiny slices. You can just do whatever you like, but if it's bigger, it will be a little bit less it won't bind together. It will bind together, but it won't be so, when you cut it, it won't make it that clean cut. If you're looking for that clean cut, that's what you're looking at. Oina, we want that very clean cut, so we really chop it in tiny pieces. Gather again, we just need 1 cup. And you don't have to use the herbs, like if you don't like cilantro, that's fine. So you can use maybe ½ a cup more of the parsley, or any herbs that you want. Just go for it and try kale in it. You can do that. It just the part that is really important to have a little bit of dill and have parsley and leek. It's really important. But if you don't like cilantro, you can definitely like substitute to something that you like, or just don't do the cilantro. Also, in part of Iran, which is Azerbaijan, where my parents are coming from, they actually don't put any cilantro, dill, or parsley. They just put the leek. That it's a very different leek in Iran. It's called tare. And you can also do that. It's really just up to you. And here we need just 1 cup. Make sure that it's 1 cup. Okay, here is our parsley. I'm just gonna put it here, keep it. And in a separate cup, I am gonna just break the eggs. So, the eggs, and you are gonna make sure you don't have to really stir them. Just make sure they blend. Here I have the egg, and you don't have to do too much. Just there are blending. That's enough. And then it's very easy. The hardest part is really getting the ingredients. And you just need to mix it together and put it in the oven. And there is no order for that. And here I'm gonna just put salt and turmeric. And also you can, instead of turmeric, you can just add the different spices that you like to have, you can add like even cardamom if you want, any spices that you want to see how it's gonna be, the spices that is actually, it tastes good for you, and would like, let's see, you like cinnamon, you can add a little bit of cinnamon, but don't overwhelm it, because the herbs already have a lot of taste, and it can be very overwhelming if the spices are too much. So we're going to just add this, and I'm going to also add the garbanzo flour and mix it with a fork. You don't have to mix too much. And then just, there's no order, as I said, I just do the tiny bits first. And the onion and garlic here. And it smells so good. I just wish I was there to give you you have a lot of kukus always. And I could give you some of these kukus tonight, but I'm so sorry that this is online. But I hope that you make it. So here and here, and a leek. So we have all the herbs. Here, show you how it's looking. So green, it smells so good. So here, really what you need to do is just put it in a pan, put it in the oven. So the thickness, it really depends what you like. And the other thing is, so if you want to cook it in the oven, just like us, you can do as thick as you want, but if you wanted to put it in the stove and fry it, and that is what traditionally is done, they fry it on the stove. So it's better to keep it very thin instead of thick, because you want to make sure it cooks inside too. And then here I'm going to show you how it looks like, and it smells so good. It's very herby.
Aisan, I wanted to ask you, so if you cook it and fry it, is it like a potato pancake? Or like a pancake of some kind? No?
No, it's actually, it takes more time. So you have to put oil, a lot more oil, to fry one side, and then turn it over to the other side. After like probably like 20-25 minutes, and you put the lid on when it's frying the one side, so you make sure it it cooks the inside of it, and then you flip over. And that flipping over, it's kind of a very challenge for everybody.
Okay, so it's better to bake it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, when you fry it, it gets very oily because it absorbs all the oil. And it's really depends on you what you like, but it's just easier, and also I think it's more tasty when the herbs don't burn, they don't fry. Nowadays, a lot of people in Iran, they also start to just bake it. So here, I'm gonna just pour it inside. I put 1 tablespoon of olive oil inside, and the olive oil I use, it's actually very light, and it's good for baking. So make sure if you're using olive oil, it's very light. And I'm gonna just pour it, and this is non-stick, and you can find it anywhere. I use it like a circle because traditionally it's cooked in the pan, and it gets like a circle, and you cut it, slice it in and it just looks more traditional when it's the circle. So I just pour it in. I need a spatula to make sure everything comes in. And you can spray like oil on top if you want, but really you don't have. There are a lot of eggs and oil underneath and juices from the herbs. So it won't be dry. And just put this here and show you how. And I'm gonna bring you the one that I made earlier today. Here is what you have, and it gets very dark when it cooks. So I'm gonna bring you the one I have.
And we ask if you have questions for Aisan about the kuku, please put it in the window and I'll express it to her.
So this is after baking here. And I put barberries inside. You can put barberries, walnuts to make it, you know, stand out a little bit. And we like a lot of barberries. We eat a lot of barberries. So we like to have barberries with a little bit of olive oil, just saute and put it on top of it. It just makes it beautiful and also more delicious. And yeah. And I can cut you some. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer.
I don't see any questions, but I think you're making everyone hungry. This has been a very well-rounded evening. We got performance and education and food.
Yeah. Sorry, my daughter was supposed to, like, she never does that. So Mehdi can help me. So here, the inside, I can show you. You can see. And I'm not going to eat it because I feel so bad. But that's basically our dinner tonight. And as I said, it's delicious just to put a sauce inside the bread with this and tomatoes and pickles. And it's just, it's so good.
We have a few questions now. So one is someone has barberries that are a few years old and they are wondering if they get old, if they should be thrown out.
So if they kept in the freezer or fridge, it's
refrigerator.
But if it's outside, yeah.
So if it's not refrigerated, throw it out, but refrigerator or frozen, it's okay.
Yeah, frozen, it's like usually I buy it and I froze it right away.
Okay. Could you tell us about how long to bake it and what temperature? I believe that's all in the recipe, but could you tell us?
Yeah, it's 350. And it's really, it's for the baking, I would recommend you to do like 40 minutes but look at it, how you want it. When it gets dark on top, like this, you're good. But if you want it more crispy, you can let it be more in the oven.
Oh, that sounds good. So there were quite a few questions about serving it cold or hot. And so people are wanting to know if it's always served hot or chilled for later. Is it side dish and what's the temperature? But
you know, actually, usually we don't eat it hot because it has to hold it together. And when it's hot, it's not still that like firm. So it's kind of the room temperature or warm, I would say, not hot, warm. And the way that like my family and Mehdi's family eat is really room temperature. And as I said, we don't even, like, if you have a leftover, we don't heat it up. Just eat it as it is.
Eat it as is. And so people were asking if it's usually for dinner. Do Iranians eat it as as a main course, or?
We eat it as a main course, and we eat it with bread and pickles, as I said, and also with rice. But also like we also snack it, but it's, if you ask Iranians, they would say that's for lunch or dinner. And here in California, the interesting thing is that people eat it for breakfast a lot or brunch. I remember my grandmother and from my mom's side and my father's side used to do that. I was like, oh, for breakfast, really? But then my mom said, yeah, like the older people in Iran, they used to eat it for breakfast.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like quiche or frittatas, right?
Yeah, like a frittata or quiche, but it doesn't have that much egg. It's more herby.
Yes. Someone, can you make it with spinach? Someone wanted to know.
Exactly. Yes, definitely. We actually have that spinach. We have one of them with spinach. You can actually have everything like this, but instead of all the herbs, just put spinach.
And what's the best bread to eat it with? I'm not sure if they wrote bari bari, if that's a mistake or if that's a type of bread, I don't know. But they're asking what's the best bread to eat it with.
Yeah, barbari. I love barbari. But
I don't know what that is. So what is that? Would you tell?
Barbari is it's a kind of a bread. So in Iran, we have a different bread shops. So bread is a big thing. So one of them is barbari. It's long and it's kind of like, it's not it's thicker, not like a baguette or not like a lavash, but kind of in between. Sometimes it has seeds on it. And usually you just go in, there is like, in one neighborhood, there is like 4 or 5 of them, and there should be one closer to your house. So it's very easy for people to get it. And you can definitely eat it with that, with lavash. But like my favorite one is really with baguette.
Oh, so do you know if you can get the bari bari bread here anywhere?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, if you go to the best one, the freshest one you can get is to go to Tajrish Bazaar or Sunnyvale Market in Walnut Creek. I don't know how far is for you where you live, but in there they bake it fresh. It doesn't taste as good as what it is in Iran, but it is very close. And they also have haft-sin, which is another bread that is thicker than lavash also. And they use a different flours, so you have to ask them. It's the same in Iran. It's like everywhere has their they use different flours for each bread.
And it's Sunnydale Market?
Sunnyvale.
Oh,
Sunnyvale.
Oh, Sunnyvale. Sunnyvale.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. I'm just typing it in the.
Sure that I have it.
Okay.
So Sunnyvale Market and Delhi.
Oh, and okay. Okay, yeah. Folks, get your. It's Bebe bread. B-E.
Barbari.
Oh, okay.
Barbari.
Okay, great. I don't see any more questions, and I think we're getting towards the end of our program here, and I wanted to say that this definitely has been a lovely journey that we've been on with you. I so appreciate it. We were devastated last year when we couldn't have you live at the museum, and you problem solved that beautifully with that performance, which was stunning. The cinematography, your choreography, and your dancers and musicians was really phenomenal. So thank you for that. And thank you for tonight to all 3 of you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. And we really enjoyed, you know, it's a little bit weird to be online for the program like this, but it feels so good to still participate, to know that, you know, there are people out there in the community.
They're out there. Well, Selma gets to eat all the kuku tonight.
I know, she's already asking me.
Lucky. Oh, well, we want to thank everyone for joining us, and we so appreciate the support. Oh, she's waving. We so appreciate support from our community because we want to show that these artists, the chefs in our community are really valuable. They're valuable to telling the full story of who we are in and who the Bay Area is. So thank you for being part of that. And we hope to see you soon. We hope to see our visitors soon. Don't forget the museum's open. Come support us. It's very important.
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you, Mehdi and Aisan and Selma.
Thank you everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Happy Nowruz.